What makes relationships last?
Our relationship has had its ups and downs, but what we've found is good communication holds everything together.
We decided to dedicate time every week to not only strengthen our relationship, but stimulate personal growth.
Strong relationships are built on strong communication.
Welcome to Date Night Conversations.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Date Night Conversations. I'm Chantal.
And I'm Greg.
And in this video, guys, Greg and I are going to ask each other 3 random questions we have never asked each other before.
And every time these questions take us off in deeper thought, in random conversations.
Yeah. Like it starts out initially with the question asked, and then sometimes we get onto like a far off
Wait,
topic.
what are we talking about? Exactly.
Yeah. But it's funny how your mind can just totally take off like that if you allow it. You start with one thing and then kind of let it just wander. It's kind of nice.
Great. Yeah, it's good. That's the idea. Let's get those conversations started.
Yeah. All right, so you ready to get into it?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
All right, you're first.
Yay, I'm first. Okay. I get so excited. All right, first question. When you were younger, what did you want to be when you grew up?
That's easy. You know what it was?
What was it?
Forest ranger. That was my thing for a long time.
Explain to them what a forest ranger is, in case they don't know, like the specifics.
Be like a wildlife preservation officer. That's the same thing. So you're like policing the backcountry.
So like campsites.
Not just campsites, but like interior land, like making sure people are following laws, have their licenses, fishing licenses, hunting licenses, enforcing that.
Oh.
But you're up there in nature, like out of the city.
That's really interesting. Did you ever have any concerns about the weather and being out there?
Well, no, you're not just standing outside.
Well, no, but cold conditions, fall conditions, having to go give a ticket out. And...
I honestly, and this is what sort of changed things, I never thought about there's winter.
Right.
You got to do this year round. Because I went camping all the time. My uncles would bring me camping.
Okay.
Like, I think it started around, well, my dad had brought me when I was younger just to, we'll call it car camping. Mm-hmm. And then around, I think it was around 12, my uncles started bringing me interior camping. We'll call it interior portaging. Mm-hmm. You got to canoe for a few hours, then portage, so you're like deep into the woods.
Yeah.
And I loved it. Like, that was so much fun. Like, I have amazing memories of doing that.
Why was it so much fun?
It's like just the guys hanging out in nature. And it's just, it's just random things in the middle of nowhere.
But what are the things that were random?
You're just exploring places you've never been. You're physically there experiencing it. You're like hiking through woods. Like, look, guys, you check the map, there's a lake back there. Let's see if we can make it to it.
Oh my goodness.
So you're like hiking through the woods, and then it's like, okay, look at this lake, there's this portage. Okay, but there's that waterfall. And then you're actually seeing those stuff way back in the middle of nowhere that nobody sees because it takes so much effort to actually get into it. Right?
Can you get lost?
Not really. Because they have it set, like the areas that we go, I'm sure you could if you went backcountry, but we're going in a provincial park.
Right.
And so at every portage at the front, it says from this lake to that lake. And you have a map.
Oh, okay.
So the map, like which lake am I on, and you can find yourself in.
What if you can't read maps?
That's a problem. You ask, there'll be other people up there.
Okay.
You'll pass, occasionally you'll find somebody camping.
Okay.
To give you some direction. Hopefully they know what's going on.
Oh man.
You have to be, I never even thought of that, because that taught me to read maps. Because everywhere you're going, you're constantly like, it's real land, like this is lakes and land masses, and you have to figure out this lake to that lake and pay attention where you are.
That's interesting. Because growing up, I never, ever went camping.
Okay, so that's the forest ranger. So I thought it'd be amazing. So while I was up there, we'd encounter these guys once in a while. And some of these guys just seem like the coolest guys to me.
Okay.
And they're just like hanging out, camping, and they come by and say, hey, what are you guys doing today? You got your licenses? It's like they'll see fishing rods or something and they can ask. Just gotta make sure you got your fishing license.
And you just take it and show them. Just like the people on the GO train. If you're taking the train.
Yeah, it's like that, and you could face fines. Oh, the other thing is, in backcountry camping, there's no cans, no bottles. Because they make sure that stuff does not get left behind. It has to be burnable or you pack it out. So if you have those things, they enforce it. And so you have cans, there's like significant fines for bringing cans.
Oh,
interior.
wow. Wow, okay.
And the funny thing is, so one time we're up there, we passed by, there's like cabins, old ranger cabins from back in the day, and these guys still use them, they upkeep them. And there's a pile of empty cans on the campsite. They collect them from everybody and then they eat them. And you get fined for it. Like, what are they going to do with them?
What?
They have to take them, but then they do. They take all the cans out when they leave, so to make sure the can's gone. But they're eating the food. It doesn't go to waste, or it doesn't get donated. It gets donated to
To
their
their belly.
lunch.
Yeah, like, oh my
But
goodness.
I thought that was even more funny when I was a kid. I'm like, that's awesome. You get to keep all the food.
Greg's such a foodie, guys. If you haven't recognized that by now, you have just had to. Like, you're such a big foodie. He loves food.
But yeah, all that led. Oh, and the other part was I like geology, and there was a combination of that. So I really,
You're telling me that,
yeah.
I can totally tell, even to this day.
So right till the end of school, I had actually applied to college it was like a 3-year program to become a forest ranger. I can't remember, that's what I saw in my head. It was like wildlife preservation officer or something along those lines. I got into the school, and then it was like that same summer I was up there and saw the students from the program, and then it clicked what you really have to do. And I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Well, what was it?
Oh my gosh, they were clearing trails. So it's the middle of the summer, it's like 90 degrees, like mid-30s. It's stinking hot outside. These guys got chainsaws and they're cutting down trees to clear trails. They're putting up retaining walls to help protect land sections. You have to do all that so you understand how it works.
And you didn't want to do that.
I did not want to do that. Like, that's part of the program? Like, well, it makes sense because all these things have to be done. Like, no.
You just have to start like everybody else in every other program. Start from the bottom and work your way up.
But it wasn't worth that to me then.
Oh, okay.
Like, and then it's the same thing, the winters and everything. Like, wait a second, it all clicked.
So what did you decide to do then? Like, if you weren't going to do wildlife preservation.
I didn't know what to do.
So what did you think? You're just going to mosey on with life?
No, I had a job.
So
I was
I'll
gonna do
just
that
work.
somewhere. Yeah.
And then work became habitual, where you just kept doing that
Sort of.
until you...
Because I had this job through school. Oh, I'm just going to take that job on full time for now. Yeah, so that's what happened. Like, I already have something. And I have a decent position within that company.
Oh, okay.
And so that sort of seemed like a good cushion. Like, I could actually do this if I don't find anything else. But then, yeah.
Okay. It's interesting.
But that's, holy smokes. So that's where that went, which led to, I got to get out of this place. And my sister's boyfriend's a bike messenger. He's like, come work where I work. You can ride your bike all day. And it was, I just get to have fun. I get to ride my bike all day and I get paid to do it. Who wouldn't do that?
Yeah. Me, I wouldn't. That's a lot of physical activity.
You don't think of, there's winters and when it rains, you still ride.
And that, I just could not do that.
Because I started in the summer and then it's a whole other world getting through a winter. Minus 23. I don't know what that is. That was my coldest day. It sticks with you.
Sticks with you.
It does. Oh man. Okay, anyway. So that was what I wanted to be.
Okay, wildlife to getting frostbite.
And then the bike messenger thing made me want to become, it all led into personal training and nutrition and health.
So one thing led to another.
And that led to paramedic. It's just constant growth. It's whatever is next, whatever you want to learn about, whatever your focus becomes, that's the direction you go.
That's who you become, absolutely. When I was really young, I remember going to church with my grandma. I was about Amaya's age, and it was so fun because I didn't go to church with my mom. I went on a school bus.
Oh,
like,
right, yeah.
Those school bus and painted it, and I went on it. And it was like the community church bus, so pick up all your local neighborhood friends.
It's kind of neat.
That's how you know everybody.
Like, you got a whole crew that all goes to church
Yeah,
together.
and if they don't go to your school or you don't see them in your area.
I never had friends that I went to church with.
Well,
like, I had church friends
Yeah.
and I had school friends, but there was no mix.
Mine was a mix.
That's interesting.
Mine was a mix.
Mine
Like,
were very different people.
Yeah, that's why when you grow up, you're like, oh yeah, I remember her from church, or yeah, I remember her, or if you recognized her from another community activity or event, you're like, oh yeah, she was like, it was a connection.
Okay.
So anyways, I remember going to my grandmother's church, and I was so happy. I slept over, and she took me to church. And I was at the podium, and I grabbed the mic, and I was just singing like church songs. Like, I was just singing. And no, it might have not been church songs, but it might have been like some songs that I knew from the radio at that time. I can't remember. I was singing up there.
Wait, it was a normal church day?
Oh, sorry. It was a normal church day, but the pastor had finished like his...
It's after the church day?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's after...
Like, we just randomly walk up to them.
Can you imagine? Excuse me.
Hey, you said you were a kid.
I was 9, but I wasn't bold like that. No, it was after church service.
I wasn't bold like that.
Not
Tell
that
the whole
bold.
story.
Yeah, no. I wasn't bold like that. It was after church service, and there were other little kids just playing up front. And I just grabbed the mic, and I'm like, just like up there, like singing or doing something. And my grandmother sees me, and I just keep going, right?
Is it like coming through the speakers, or are you at...
A little bit, but they turned it down so the kids can play with it.
Oh, they let you?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it was so fun. And I remember after church, my grandmother was speaking to my mom on the phone, and she's like, that's what Chantal liked. She was up front singing, and that's what she liked. And like, she was just telling my mom how happy I was to be up there just doing that.
Okay.
And then later on when American Idol came on, I'm like, I have to be a singer, I have to. So I went in my room without any vocal training and started singing on top of my lungs, Greg.
Were you good?
No. That's why my mom was downstairs just laughing.
Oh,
she was laughing like crazy. And I'm like, excuse me, it's just a warm-up.
You could say that?
Yeah. And then I go back to it.
Were you serious?
No. Because I'm really trying, and I know it's like, no, Chantal, you need to stop. Because your voice is cracking, and I was like stomping my feet, and I'm really trying. And my mom was like, no, honey.
You gotta start somewhere. If you had pursued that, you could be some singer right now.
No, I really can't sing, and I really don't want
I
to
think
be a
you
singer.
can. I think you could have.
Babe,
I know when I hear you sing,
that.
and it actually like, oh wow, you're hitting the notes. You're doing okay.
Oh my goodness, it's
because yeah, you know you can sing. You sing playfully, but sometimes you actually sing like you seriously, in my mind, have potential.
I honestly don't think I do, but thank you.
Right.
Honestly, that's really sweet of you. Okay, anyways, so it was a singer. Then afterwards, I remember being in grade 8 and I wanted to be a bailiff. Like, there was this lady that came to the elementary school that I was attending, and it was career day, and she spoke about her position as a bailiff, and I'm pretty sure she said bailiff. But when I think about it now, in my adulthood, I think she was describing a role of like a probationary officer for juvenile offenders. And I thought that her job was so cool, and I'll never forget it. And it sucked because I tried to research it, and the only thing I could find close to what my memory remembers of that day is a probationary officer. So that's what I thought. I'm like, okay, if that does that, reading up on it, like that's kind of what she said, I want to do that. Never pursued that. Then I had thoughts of being a police officer and then a nurse. And then I became a nurse. That's it. But I always knew I wanted to do something in like performing. I don't know why.
You're kind of doing that now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw myself here.
Greg, you're so chill.
Alright. Is that good? So, bailiff officer, singer.
No, I think it was singer first.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Like a singer and probation officer.
Yeah, something to do with law, like a lawyer, probationary officer, something in that field. I'm pretty sure I was a lawyer for a little bit too. But anyway, that's what it was. All right, should we throw the question back to them? All right, guys, it's your turn. Guys, I actually really would love if you guys could let me know, let me read the question one more time. When you were younger, what did you want to be when you grew up? I think this would be so cute, guys. All right, you guys know what to do. Drop a comment down below. All right.
Yeah, I wonder what kind of jobs people be like, I want to do that. Like that they've seen when they were a kid. Maybe something their parents did or something.
Yeah.
What did your mom do? Like when you were a kid, were you like, I want to do what my mom does? Or
No, because I really didn't understand.
Yeah, I
what
think
she
that
did
happens a lot, because
until I was older. Because if it wasn't any of the primary community positions that everybody knows, firefighter, policeman, nurse, like if you say to a kid, I'm the executive of this, they're gonna be like, okay, my mom works for some company, I don't know. But it's not until you get older.
What do you do? They're like, well, these forms come to me and I have to...
exactly. They try to explain it to you as basic as possible.
Even then, what did you do? Is it kind of a manager or something? Do you get emails or do you send emails?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many random jobs now. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So, babe, you got question number 2?
Okay, question number 2. Who do you think the disciplinarian will be between us if and when we have children?
Honestly, we have children, so we can...
Explain who the disciplinarian is?
Yeah, and I think it's both of us.
No, man, it's totally me.
Oh. Why do you think that?
Because I will not baby at all. I won't have that. And you do that, and they have that little cushion after I yell at them. Or intervening. You know you do it, especially in Dane King.
No.
Yes, because he gives the puppy eyes.
I can't help, Greg. I honestly...
I'm like, no! We're not having any of that.
Like, Greg,
he doesn't get out of things by giving puppy eyes.
I can't,
he knows
guys,
what he did.
He does, and he comes back and he's such a sweet boy. He's like, Mommy, I'm sorry. Like, he says it by himself. Like, I can't, Greg. He doesn't mean it.
I know he's like super active, has so much energy, and he just like, he'll do something and then know he went wrong. Or you'll ask him not to do something and he'll just keep going and going and going, like pushing.
He's just learning how to be patient right now.
Like he gets so excited and you know, listen, if you keep doing it, somebody's going to get hurt and you're just trying to buffer the situation. So just don't do that because I don't want anybody to get hurt. And then he does it again and then somebody gets hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, puppy, I'm like, no!
When Danny gives the puppy eyes, my heart. There are times where I have to crack down. I'm like, Danny, absolutely not. No, that's unacceptable. And I walk away, but he feels, he's like, Mommy, I'm so sorry. So I am in my own way.
He ends up in the living room with food. You're right.
It makes me so upset when they eat in the living room with food. Food has to stay in the kitchen where it can be controlled. Do not bring it into the living room. But they do it anyway. We'll catch them.
But it's almost like they get into something else and it's the distractions. They don't realize what they're doing. It's not like they're intentionally like sneaking in there. No. It's like he's dancing and he's doing his things and he just ends up places.
Yeah. But sometimes I've caught him on the sofa eating something. And I'm like,
Yeah, the same. Oh, there's something on TV. I'll just run over to it. No.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, there's times where I will go to you. I'm like, this is what just happened. It's better that you deal with that. Because I'm going to lose it.
Yeah, I'll go deal with it.
And then you can be sort of the buffer. There are some times where you'll just step up because whatever just happened needs to be, and we both be on the same page. But I think I'm a little less tolerant than you.
Yeah, I agree. Right, that's what it is. All right, guys, I 100% agree with Greg. So we're going to throw the question back to you, but let's read it one more time.
Okay, how would I word this? Who do you think the disciplinarian would be between you and your significant other if and when you had children, or if you have
children? Yeah. All right, guys, you know what to do. Drop a comment down below. All right, just like that, we're going on to the third question. And it's my turn. Third question, guys. Who is the strongest person you know, and how do you wish you were more like them?
So, by strength, are we talking strongest like mentally?
I think it can go any which way you interpret it. I don't think there's a right and wrong way.
Who's the strongest person you know, and how do you wish you were more like them? Because if it's just physical strength, is there anybody who has, like, the strongest person you know is you, probably physically and mentally?
Yeah, but there are some gurus out there that can keep a
Who's the strongest person you know?
Like personally?
Yes. Who's the strongest person you know, and how do you wish you were more like them?
I don't know if I have someone in that
Like,
position.
this is what I'm saying. So, I would say you're the strongest person I know.
Really?
I think so.
What makes me that? Like, just like keep going and going?
Yeah. There's just something about you, physically and mentally, that's the things that you've had to deal with in your life and how you've handled them and how you keep going. That's what I see.
You think that makes me special?
No, I think it makes you strong.
Well, yeah.
This is what I'm saying. So, in real life, you're ridiculously strong for a female. Women are not as strong as you. And I don't think you realize that because you're like, what, I just do it. There are girls that work their butts off to try to get to the strength that you have. And you just go work out and you have it. And I keep telling her, like, this girl could win powerlifting contests. And she's like, I don't want to do that. No, that's not me.
It's not my thing.
But the girls have to be so much bigger than you to lift what you lift. And you're small and can lift it. And so when it comes to powerlifting, the idea is to lift the most weight and be the lightest. And so at least locally and probably right up to the national level, where you are right now, you're strong enough to be like a national level power lifter.
That's crazy.
So physically, you're the strongest person I know. Mentally, like I said, the stuff you dealt with in life, I think putting that all together, it sort of falls into the same page. You've definitely had to deal with a lot.
Thanks, babe. It's like, that's facts. Like, I had to deal with a lot.
Like, meeting you introduced me to a whole other world. Like,
oh my God.
You were 16 and caring for your dad when he was going through radiation and chemo.
Yeah.
Like,
that was a really, and
managing school and everything. And I don't know if that part's been talked about, but
no, I never spoke about it.
This is when you're fast tracking, and you're taking care of your dad. That, like, she graduated at 17. You were in college at 18?
No, I was 17 because I graduated.
You were in college at 17?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I'm saying. And how everything has just been like, you keep going. When there's something, you have that determination.
It's so funny, and thank you for like your kind and deep comments about that. But I never looked at it like that.
No, for you, it's just life.
Yeah, it's just like what I do for life. It's like, it's just me. I am who I am. But I think it will go for you too, that you're the strongest person I know because of what you've been through.
Yeah, well, I don't feel like I've been through anything.
You've been through
because I can
lot.
create scenarios that other people have actually been through.
You've been through a lot. You had some heartbreaking news, and even though you had that news, you still continued to do what you knew was best and progress with life and make a change and, you know, be with me and my daughter and try to balance your life the best way you could. And it was different. And in order for you to progress at the time, you had to make really hard decisions.
Okay.
So I think
it's funny because the same thing. I didn't see it as that. That was just experiences in life. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So I think like I admire that. And what I really admire is like the intelligence and the positivity about things. Like, you're my go-to. I love the fact that you're so wise and that you're able to teach me, because I think the most sexiest thing in the world in a relationship is when your significant other can teach you things all the time. It's like such a beautiful thing. And I love learning. So I think it's like a perfect match. So I think you're the strongest person I know. And although you say, you know, within you develop your own characteristics and growth, like you wouldn't say you want to be like this and you wish you had this. I do wish I had your smart and like your driven positive thinking. I'm like trying to train myself to have more of similar perspective that you have on things, because the way you look at it is so beautiful and so organic and
frustrating.
But it's unfiltered, right? Like, it's just like, let things be. And when you can learn to let things be and let things like just keep your body in a positive state and allow that to be a magnet to attract more of that, you realize you can grow as a person and progress through life at a peaceful rate. and be on a different frequency. Sorry if that was like super deep, but it's just different. Like it's a whole vibe thing. And I really wish I had that. Like you have it on a maturity level, and I'm learning and I'm growing. So that's something I wish I had, because I think I'd be much farther if I could think like you, because you really think, man, and it's different. I make fun of you sometimes just to pick at you, but it's really different. Man, like you really can think. Like it's good. Like your eyes just pierce and you just can tell you're thinking, and sometimes it's like you're done thinking about it and then you just turn your head and you do something else. And it's just like and sometimes I'm like, that was rude. But it was so cold. And sometimes I wish I could do that. But sometimes I just verbalize it. I'm like, I'm ignoring you right now, Greg, and I'm just like, walk off, where you're mad cool. You're a mad cool guy, and I love every piece of you. Sorry about that, guys. I went deep again about him. Can't help it.
All right.
We gotta throw it back to them. All right, I'll read it one more time. Who is the strongest person you know, and how do you wish you were more like them? All right, guys. You know what to do. Drop a comment down below. Those were some deep conversations this episode, Gregory.
Yeah, those ones took a little more time.
It really did. And we say this every time. It's okay. It's okay when you go that deep and you venture off, or you just go into layers. Like that's
I enjoy the conversation.
Yeah. And I totally
hope you guys do too.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know what? We really love interacting with you guys.
Absolutely. Please comment down below. Let us know your responses to these questions.
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Bye.